How long have your U.S. senators been in office? That's what we're going to find out today. We're going to go through all 50 states, combine both U.S. senators' time in office, and fill out the map. I did this earlier in the year for governors, but I realized I never made one for the Senate. So this one does not have any term limits, so we're going to see how high we can go. At the top, we're going to do 10 tiers of shading. It's going to be every 5 years, going all the way up to 45 plus. And some of these senators came into office at different times, and depending on when I made the video and the exact time I put it up, the totals could be slightly different, so give or take about a half a year. And if you're watching this way in the future, hopefully I put out an updated video. So having a lot of experience in the Senate, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you want to look at it. But before we get started, which state do you think has the senators with the most time in office? We're going to dive in. We're going to go from the least to the most, and this should go pretty quick. So in the first tier, 0 to 4 years, we've got a couple of states that are practically babies in the Senate. The least amount of time in office is Ohio. Both of those senators came into office this year. So Bernie Moreno and John Husted, they're still in the crib, and neither of them have 1 year, but combined, once you round it, it's going to go up to 2 years. Not far behind is going to be neighboring Pennsylvania. That's got Fetterman and McCormick. They're up to 4 years. Then we're going to go up to the next tier. This is 5 to 9 years. And here, these states are going to be in training wheels in terms of experience. First is Arizona with Mark Kelly and Ruben Gallego. Then it's California with Alex Padilla and Adam Schiff. Those two states have 6 years, going up to 8 years. We've got Alabama with Tommy Tuberville and Katie Britt. And the last state in this tier is Florida with Rick Scott and newly minted Senator Ashley Moody. Up to the next tier, 10 to 14, we've got a bunch of states. First, at 10 years, it's Georgia with Ossoff and Warnock. Then in Indiana with Young and Banks. Maryland is next with Van Hollen and Alsobrooks. Missouri also clocks in at 10 years with Hawley and Schmidt. Then we've got 12 years, and it's Michigan with Peters and Slotkin. Montana with Daines and Sheehy. Tennessee with Blackburn and Haggerty. West Virginia has Shelley Moore Capito and Jim Justice. Then at 13 years, it's New Jersey with Booker and Kim. At 14 years, it's North Carolina with Tillis and Budd. And rounding out this tier is Oklahoma with Lankford and Mullen. Up to the next year, 15 to 19 years, we've got Delaware. They've got 16 years there with Chris Coons and Lisa Blunt Rochester. With that same number of years, it's Nebraska with Deb Fisher and Pete Ricketts. Nevada with Catherine Cortez Masto and Jackie Rosen. And Utah with Lee and Curtis. There's one more state here coming in at 18 years. We've got New Mexico. And they've got Martin Heinrich and Ben Ray Lujan. Now we're going up to the little bit more experienced senators coming in at 20 to 24 years. It's Kansas. There it's the team of Moran and Marshall. And how about Louisiana with the duo of Cassidy and Kennedy? Those two states have 20 years. Going up to 22 years, we've got Colorado. That's Bennett and Hickenlooper. Then in North Dakota, we've got Hoven and Kramer. And in Vermont, it's Sanders and Welch. One more state in this tier at 23 years is Wyoming. There your senators are Barrasso and Lummis. Now we're going to step it up to 25 to 29 years. First up, we've got Massachusetts with Warren and Markey. That's at 25 years. The same amount of time, we've got Mississippi. That's Roger Wicker and Cindy Hyde Smith. Then at 26 years, it's Arkansas with Bozeman and Cotton. Hawaii with Schatz and Hirono. New Hampshire with Shaheen and Hassan. Then up to 27 years, it's Minnesota with Klobuchar and Smith. At 28 years, we've got Connecticut with Murphy and Coons. And also at 28, it's Wisconsin with Johnson and Baldwin. Time to step it up into the states that have at least 30 years of experience. First is Virginia with Mark Warner and Tim Kaine. They've got 30 years between them. Next, with 32 years, it's South Dakota with John Thune and Mike Rounds. And coming in at 34 years, we've got Alaska with Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan. Up to the next tier, these are pretty much the senior citizens. First up, we've got South Carolina. And there are 36 years of experience between Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott. But Texas has 1 more year on them between John Cornyn and Ted Cruz. But not to be outdone, Illinois has even 1 more year on Texas with Dick Durbin and Tammy Duckworth. And now we're going to go into yet another tier. All these states have at least 40 years between them. First up, at 42 years, we've got 2 states. First, it's Maine with Susan Collins and Angus King. And it's also Rhode Island with Jack Reed and Sheldon Whitehouse. Moving up to 44 years, we've got two more states. It's Idaho with Mike Crapo and Jim Rich. And the last one before we get to the top tier is the Empire State, New York. That's another 44 years there between Schumer and Gillibrand. Now, in the absolute top tier, we've still got 4 states left, at least with 45 years. The state with the 4th most experience is Oregon. There are 47 years between Ron Wyden and Jeff Merkley. Now, into the top 3, we've got states that all have at least 50 years of experience. And surprisingly, we've got 2 states that actually are tied at 56 years. One of them you probably would have guessed from the beginning. It's Iowa. It never hurts to pick the oldest or the longest serving current U.S. Senator. So Chuck Grassley teaming up with Joni Ernst come in at 56. The other state at 56 is Kentucky. That has Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul. There's one state left with the absolute most years of experience. The state with the most seasoned U.S. senators is in the northwest corner. It's Washington. We've got 58 years here combined between Patty Murray and Maria Cantwell. Murray came into office in 1993. Cantwell got in there in 2001. That combines to about 58 years in total. And that's how the map looks once you plug in all the states. And there's not really any pattern to this kind of thing. It just kind of happens over the decades. And the Pacific Northwest does dominate this map, but for the most part, it's haphazard and it's spread out. Some states have almost no experience whatsoever. I'm looking at Ohio and Pennsylvania. Plenty of other states have a relatively low amount, like California or Alabama. But this is the kind of thing where you could have one U.S. senator totally carrying the other. Chuck Grassley has been in office for almost 45 years. Just by himself, that's good enough for 5th place. So once you tack on Joni Ernst, it still does not get Iowa to the top spot. It really only moves them up 2 more places. So in order to be at the top here, you're going to need to have 2 senators that have gotten into office at a relatively young age, and then they stayed in there for many decades. You can see the states where it's happened, and as soon as one senator leaves office, that's going to make it really, really difficult to climb this list. So sometimes this stuff changes in a hurry, like we just saw in Ohio. And in the case of Washington, nothing has changed there in the past nearly 25 years. So how high can they go? The sky is really the limit. Most of the states are kind of in the middle of the pack, in the 15 to 25 year mark. But one of them could easily rise to the top over the next 10 or 20 years. And of course, there's going to be senators retiring next year. That's going to shuffle the entire list. And you might be looking at this map thinking this is clearly a case for term limits. I understand the argument, but this is really all about the fun of seeing how long people have managed to stay in office. So that's it. Let me know in the comments. How long have your U.S. senators been in office? Were you surprised to see Washington have the top spot? Which current state do you think has a chance at taking the top spot in the future? Let me know what jumps out to you in this data down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to help support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.